from a farmer to his grandkids, raising some religious ire today. It reads, "Enjoy life now. There is no afterlife." The billboard sponsored by the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Time for our faith panel to chomp on this one. Rabbi Spiro has served in New York and Ohio. David Silverman, president of American Atheists, and Bill Donahue, president of the Catholic League. All right, so David, I'm sure you're going to love this message that this grandfather is passing along, his legacy, he says, to his grandkids.
Of course I love the message. It's the truth. You know, every living thing in the universe dies, no matter how much we wish it weren't true. And the objective of humanity is to live onto the next generation, to pass a good legacy onto your children. The American atheists and atheists everywhere and people everywhere need to live for today because there is no afterlife. Take care of your fellow man because, of course, Bill, God is not going to do it.
If you're a Christian, Bill, you want to live every day to the fullest and be good to your fellow man, right?
Absolutely.
But you also believe that there's a higher life and a higher being that's going to be there when you pass.
Right. Usually intelligent people normally do.
Oh, you're going to insult my intelligence now?
I don't know how much intelligence you have.
I didn't know
to
intelligent people believed in an invisible man in the sky.
You have to understand tolerance, sir. I know it doesn't come naturally to atheists. No, a tolerance for my freedom of speech. Yeah. You had your opportunity and you blew it.
You insulted me.
Here's what happens. This particular billboard, I'm not offended by that. You know what it says? It says they don't believe in anything. We all know that. I'm offended by people like him when he takes Christ and exploits him with this crown of thorns and puts it up in Times Square at Christmas time. I'm offended by Freedom from Religion Foundation when they put up negative statements against my religion on the same property at Christmas time. If you want to say you believe in nothing, I say you could. I know you stand for nothing. I know you're good for nothing, so we agree.
It's not about being offended. It's about telling the truth. There is no fantasy.
Well, let's see what the truth is according to the rabbi.
Well, I do believe in an afterlife. Material things die, but the spirit, the soul lives on. It is eternal. But I do also believe that God wants us to enjoy and have happiness in this life, not necessarily fun, but happiness, deep fun, deep gratitude. And the way to do this in this world is to elevate the life that you live in. When you eat with dignity. Other things, you impart sanctity and sacredness to these things, and you have an elevated life. And I think also for those of us that are religious, it's important to know that this life is important. We should be politically involved. We should vote for those candidates that represent our values, our wholesome values, our American values.
You think we should
so this life is important, even though the afterlife, of course, is important as well.
Do you think we should vote for candidates who actually espouse preferential treatment for religion over non-religion?
We should vote for candidates that reflect our values. And there are
that's not an answer to my question.
Well, David,
what is your question?
David, the point of it is that 1/5 of the U.S. public and 1/3 of adults under 30 now are not religiously affiliated.
That's right.
So I don't know. You may have a point with who they end up voting for.
They're very intelligent, huh, Bill?
I want to move on to what
Almost
today is.
Almost none of them are atheists, by the way. They're indifferent. They're not like you.
Right.
Guys, I've got it. I mean, I've got to jump in on this one. So I hope I'm not stepping on anybody here because this is. I mean, what I want to do first is let's look at this. I'll be kind. Piece of work Mr. Donahue is. I mean, he is currently the president of the Catholic League for Religious and Civil Rights. Now let's examine that little title. The key phrase there is civil rights. Now, he's made 23 appearances on TV just in 2004. That's when he first broke out and got to be fairly big. His appearances, almost without question, he attacks gays and progressives. He is referred to the gays' lifestyle. No, sorry. Use his words. The gay death style. He says, God forbid we run out of little gay kids. I mean, he also claimed that John Kerry, this is kind of off a little bit, but has never found an abortion he doesn't like. He said that Hollywood likes anal sex and is controlled by the secular Jews who hate Christianity in general and Catholicism in particular. This guy is the most hate-filled, vitriolic, condescending, wonderful human being I've ever met. And to get off of that and kind of go back into the atheist intelligence deal, I would have loved to have been on that panel when he did this. I'm just going to cite 3 studies that I found, and it's only been a few days that I've been researching this. The first one is it's the title is, and we'll make sure that all of these links are provided. So guys, go check it yourself. Don't trust me. Read these studies. It's out there. Okay, the relationship between intelligence and multiple domains of religious belief, subtitled "Evidence from." And it's evidence from a large U.S. sample. It was done by the Department of Psychology, University of Edinburgh. What it showed is high levels of religiosity have been linked to low levels of intelligence. These results have generated both controversy and some, let's say, colorful responses to the publication. They have not hit that it has not been received well by the religious side. The next study that I was looking at is Average Intelligence Predicts Atheism. And this study is done over 137 countries.
Yeah.
And basically what it goes into is we find that, and this is from the sample itself, we find in a sample of 137 countries there is a correlation between national IQ and disbelief in God. The last one was a meta-analysis, which basically means they brought a bunch of studies together. And this encompassed 63 countries. This was a joint effort by the University of Rochester and Northwestern University. And like I said, it was 63 countries, and it showed a significant negative association between intelligence and religiosity. The interesting thing on this is they actually, in the conclusion, gave 3 reasons that this might be the drivers for why this is the case. The first one was intelligent people are less likely to conform and thus more likely to resist religious dogma. The second one is intelligent people tend to adopt an analytic as opposed to an intuitive way of thinking, which has been shown to undermine religious belief. And the third is several functions of religiosity include compulsory control, self-regulation, self-enhancement, and secure attachment, which the intelligent people don't need that. They don't need that self-affirming stuff because they have their own best interest at heart. So I hate to put myself in there as we, because I don't consider myself intelligent, but we as atheists don't need the crutch that religion supplies. So, I mean,
Correct.
It's pretty damning evidence. Like I said, we're definitely going to provide all the links. So, guys, go check it out. Joe, I know I've been rambling a while, and I jumped in there, but I just had to jump in there, man.
No,
sorry. Go ahead.
No, anytime, man. It's all good, man. Guys, what I want to show you here real quick is I did a little, research, and I actually researched the top 40 top intellectuals. I'll show you the graph here real quick, guys, so you guys can check it out. But this is the FP, which is going to be the Policy Global Thinkers Poll, okay, guys? This right here only did the top 40. I didn't even do the top 100, but every year they do the top 100 most important public intellectuals. Right here, when it comes down to the most important public intellectuals of 2005, I mean, like, the board clearly states that it's majority. You're talking 80-85% that are non-religious. Atheists are agnostic. When I mean atheists, they came out claiming that they were atheist. Agnostic, they claim they were agnostic. A couple question marks in there, a couple question marks when it comes to if people were atheist or not. They made the statements, but they would never come out as an atheist. So I've really spent, no lie, probably like 2.5-3 hours just on this. So just for the show, and the source below is, of course, foreignpolicy.com. So, when we have people here like, Mr. David Silverman here, because he's an atheist, he's just not intelligent like he is. It's just ridiculous. And negation it now on the head on the reasons why we would claim that Bill Donahue is not too intelligent. But that being said, I really want to go into this billboard story, okay? I want to really look into this because we got Christmas billboards coming up soon, guys, and we know Fox has their annual war on Christmas when it comes to billboards and nativity scenes on government properties or town hall properties. So we got that coming up, and it's about 8 years running now for Fox News. So they make this an annual event. So But the funny thing is that, Bill Donahue always claims that, well, you're offending me. You offend me when you do this. And atheists offend me when they do that. When it comes to the billboards and fighting against nativity scenes, it's that, well, it violates the First Amendment to the Constitution, okay? They don't understand that. The Establishment Clause. You can't put that shit on government property. You just can't do it, okay? And to think, this farmer here, this old guy that just wanted to leave a message for, I think it was his grandsons, right? The funny thing about this, and it's not really funny, it's actually a shame that he puts his money out for these billboards, and the first one actually got vandalized. Okay, the first one got vandalized. This is actually the second one he's put up. Okay, which is pretty sad. I feel bad. I feel bad for the guy, but I think FFRF. I think they put it up, or I forget who paid for it. I forget exactly who paid for it. Don't quote me on that. Do you guys remember last year in 2012 where there was all these atheist banners and images that were getting vandalized in a park in Santa Monica, California? Now, one question I would like to ask you guys here, Ned and Matthew, is who do you think did the vandalizing on the atheist banners in that park? And do you recall Christian banners being vandalized and making the news? I could not find any today, to be honest with you, okay? There might be some out there. I don't think there was any kind of vandalizing of banners or nativity scenes that I could really think of. So could I be wrong here, or do you guys know anything, or who do you think really did the vandalizing when it came to the atheist banners and stuff at this park in Santa Monica, California last year?
Evangelicals, if I had to guess, but in my experience, when a Muslim goes moderate and they're raised in a more progressive culture, they're more tolerant, they're more understanding and more live and let live than evangelical Christians. So if I had to guess, that's what it was. Evangelical Christians or very devout Catholics.
Nah, I've got to disagree there, Matthew. It's got to be atheists because no, think about it. What they did is they put up these scenes.
Oh,
and
I
they
never
vandalized them themselves so they would get more publicity, which now just shows that the devil is driving them to make their statements. So yeah, I think it's atheist. Man.
You're supposed to be keeping that a secret. We're not supposed to tell.
Yeah, we're not supposed to tell anybody, dude. What's wrong with you?
See, that's not supposed to be mentioned on here. We had a meeting about that.
Yeah, cut it out. Sorry, damn, I forgot about that rule.
Unbelievable. But the funny thing is, it's so funny, and what I want to bring up too is the religious billboards are okay, but even if they, they're trying to portray some kind of honesty and truth. And when I say truth, I mean there is no evidence or proof for their claim. Okay, when we look at that, and do you guys remember the billboard that came up? I think it was like a few months ago, and it's this image right here, and I'll show you guys. There's the old guy. There's the old dude right there, the story we're talking about. There's his second billboard. But you remember this billboard, guys, a couple months ago? Thank God you're wrong. How discriminative and hateful is that in New York City? Answers in Genesis, okay? And Fox News is sitting there and basically supporting it. What's this? How is this? Enjoy your life now. There is no afterlife. It's not really blasting, Christianity when you come down to it, right? Is it? I don't think it is.
That sign that you just showed for Answers in Genesis, I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, that was all in the news.
That is obviously directed from evangelical Christians to other evangelical Christians. They're arguing amongst themselves, well, it's a very good thing that the atheists are wrong, because that's not the sort of argument you would make to an atheist.
Yeah, guys, that was a few months ago.
A Christian would never ask. I mean, that doesn't make any sense if they were directing it at atheists, because if you're an atheist, then you're going to end up going to hell, right? You're not going to thank God for sending you to hell once you die. But
exactly.
I wanted to add a couple of thoughts to this. This very interesting conversation. I think it's interesting because over the years I've become much more agnostic in my disbelief. So when I hear somebody like David Silverman taking such a hard stance, talking about it's true that there is no afterlife, I cringe a little bit. I don't believe there is one, but it really makes, I think, since he's the president of American Atheists, it makes us all look like we take that hard stance, and whether Christians, theists in general, like it or not, the more popular, more common definition for atheism now is just someone who doesn't believe and isn't convinced by theistic claims. It's not someone who believes there absolutely is no God. But that being said, I think that a lot of Christians and Catholics, depending on whether or not you lump those two together, some do, some don't, would abhor the comments that Bill Donahue was making, because he is making such a bad example of Christians by being so vitriolic. And it's funny to see somebody that old, and he's probably, pushing 70 if I had to guess. Not that that's that old, but someone who's pushing 70 being that childish. Because it's just, he's talking about his mama, basically. It's so pathetic. And the smile that's on Gretchen, whatever her name is, his face, Gretchen Carlson, it seems more just like theater to me now than anything else. And you gotta thank Fox for at least presenting the argument, even if they're not doing it honestly.
That's exactly what I want to add in there was, Gretchen Carlson, yeah, I mean, she got that new time slot. I think that's her new time slot. I think,
no,
I don't think she didn't do too bad.
Well, it seemed like at least they allowed Silverman to talk.
Correct,
to,
yes.
Present his side of the story, whereas, most of the time with Bill O'Reilly, all he's doing is belittling him and, trying to make him feel stupid the entire time. And you're right, I didn't get that feeling. Well, I didn't get that feeling from her.
Yeah.
And it may have been just that. It may have been they know they have Donahue on there that is going to be
confrontational
basically,
anyway.
Yeah, basically he's going to be the Bill O'Reilly, so he's going to take care of it for him, so she can sit back and be the nice guy, good cop, bad cop type thing.
The irony of it is that Donahue would have been just as vitriolic towards the rabbi as he would toward the atheist.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, in his state, that's what I thought was interesting is, doing this research and finding out that he's so hateful toward the Jews, because that's what he uses in every statement, that guy can sit 2 seats down and not hammer him on that as well. I mean, it amazed me.
The funny thing is, before we go on, can I play the intro of that and look the way those first two guys smile and watch Bill Donahue? I gotta just rewind this a little bit. It takes me 2 seconds to do so, but watch this.
Life. The billboard sponsored by the Freedom from Religion
Foundation.
Foundation.
Watch his face.
Time for our faith panel to chomp on this one. Rabbi Spiro has served in New York and Ohio. David Silverman, president of American Atheists, and Bill Donahue, president of the Catholic League.
I mean, like, seriously though, they're small Bill Donahue. I hate America. I hate faggots. It's like, what the fuck, man? Cheer the fuck up and enjoy your fucking life, you idiot. Sorry.
Think about where he is. He's sitting between a powerful woman, which his entire Bible tells him, hell no, you do not give women power.
Yeah.
An atheist and a Jew. And if you are a bigot and a misogynist,
he's hating that fucking.
Holy crap! How
he hates that panel.
Uncomfortable. The only thing that would have been worse is if they would have had a black guy sitting next to him. He would have.
Oh man!
No, if I were David Silverman, I would have said, "Oh, by the way, I'm gay too."